Hey everyone, welcome. I'm so excited to kick off this foundational explainer for the TechTale Academy Python for Beginners series. Seriously, if you've never typed a single line of code in your entire life, take a deep breath because you are in exactly the right place. We're going to completely demystify programming together. And honestly, there has literally never been a better time to start. Get this, according to the 2026 Developer Survey, Python just overtook JavaScript to become the #1 most used programming language in the world. It is the absolute powerhouse running the modern tech landscape. So let's just dive right in and see what we're covering today. Okay, here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we'll look at the magic of programming. Then, what exactly Python is, followed by your very first Python code. After that, we'll explore what Python can actually do, weigh its pros and cons, and finally, map out our Python journey ahead. All right, part 1, the magic of programming and understanding the basics. So, let me ask you a question. What do artificial intelligence, building complex websites, and automating your boring, repetitive daily tasks all have in common? It's a big question, right? But whether it's an AI generating some mind-blowing image, a massive e-commerce site processing your order, or just a simple script sorting your emails, they are all powered by the exact same core concept, and that is programming. Now let's break down what programming actually is. Listen, it's not magic, and it's definitely not some impossible math problem. Programming is simply giving a computer step-by-step instructions to solve a problem or perform a task. Think of it exactly like writing a recipe for a chef. A chef needs to know what ingredients to use and the exact sequence of steps to bake a cake, right? If you miss a step, well, the cake collapses. Now, a computer is essentially an incredibly fast, very obedient chef that has absolutely zero common sense. If you accidentally tell it to bake your shoe instead of the flour, it's going to happily do it. You literally have to tell it exactly what to do step by step. So when you write code, you're really just writing that recipe. Moving on to part 2. What exactly is Python? Let's unpack some of the jargon you might hear out there. Okay, so there are two really important terms people use to describe Python: high level and general purpose. Let's look at high level first. You see, computers natively only understand ones and zeros. Machine code. If you had to write in ones and zeros, it would literally take years just to write a basic program. Python acts as a super helpful translator. It reads almost like plain English, and then the Python system itself translates your readable English into those ones and zeros for the computer. Now, on the flip side, we have general purpose. Some tools are highly specialized, like a wrench, used for just one specific bolt. Python is definitely not that. Python is like a Swiss Army knife. It's a wildly versatile multi-tool built for almost any task, from heavy data science all the way to building custom websites. And hey, you don't just have to take my word for it. Looking at the official Python 3.14.6 documentation, it says right there, Python is an easy-to-learn, powerful programming language with elegant syntax and dynamic typing. Now, elegant syntax is just a fancy way of saying the grammar and spelling rules of the language are clean and visually uncluttered. It was intentionally designed to be highly readable. This means you spend way more time thinking about the actual problem you want to solve and a lot less time fighting with confusing computer symbols. For you as a beginner, this translates to way less frustration and a much, much faster learning curve. Which brings us to part 3, your first Python code. We're going to write some step-by-step instructions. All right, this is it. It's a classic rite of passage for literally every programmer on Earth, looking at this one simple instruction: print hello world. Let's break down our recipe. Print is our command. We're telling the computer to output something to the screen. The parentheses hold the exact information we want to print. And those quotation marks, they tell the computer, hey, treat these words exactly as plain text. Don't try to calculate them like a math problem. When you run this single line of code, the computer just simply displays, hello world. It really is that direct. Okay, let's level that up just a tiny bit. Here we have 2 instructions. First, name equals Alex. I want you to think of a variable as a labeled storage box. We took a box, slapped the label name on the outside, and inside that box we safely stored the text Alex. Now check out the second instruction. Print hello, name. We're telling the computer to print the word hello and then go look inside the box labeled name and print whatever it finds in there. The result? The computer prints, hello, Alex. Boom. You've literally just learned how to store data and reuse it. How cool is that? All right, let's jump into part 4. What can Python actually do? Let's talk about the power of the Python ecosystem. Honestly, Python's reach is just mind-blowing. It's used in web development to build massive interactive sites. It is absolutely the backbone of AI and machine learning. Huge tools like PyTorch and Hugging Face run entirely on Python. In data science, it's used to crunch massive data sets. For IT pros, it's a lifesaver for system automation. I'm talking about taking a tedious 3-hour daily server log task and automating it into a 3-second script. It's also huge in scientific computing for things like biology and physics simulations. It is a primary language in education, and of course, it's just perfect for building small, customized tools for your own personal desktop. And all this versatility translates directly into staggering popularity. Just look at the numbers from the 2026 Developer Usage Survey. Python holds 38% of the developer market share, officially knocking JavaScript down to 36%. Python isn't just a great tool anymore. Like the European Business Review pointed out, it's basically become the default language for the next decade of computing. Its ability to scale from your very first beginner script all the way up to powering enterprise AI models is exactly why it's the undisputed king of modern computing right now. So, moving to part 5, Python's pros and cons. Let's keep things balanced here. Because no tool is totally perfect for every single job, right? Let's take a balanced look at the incredible benefits versus some known limitations. On the advantages side, we already know it has that super beginner-friendly syntax. Plus, it's completely free in an OSI-approved open source project. That means nobody owns it, and you will never have to pay a license fee to use it. Also, because it's so wildly popular, it has a massive support community. Seriously, if you ever hit a roadblock, someone online has almost definitely already solved it. But looking at the limitations, historically, Python has hit some speed ceilings for super intense computations when you compare it to languages like C++. It also has some weaknesses in mobile app development. It's just not the go-to choice for building native iOS or Android apps. And finally, it can be a bit of a memory hog, consuming more RAM when running really complex programs. But here's the really fascinating part. The community is actively working to smash those limitations. Remember that historical speed ceiling we just mentioned? Well, Python 3.13 and newer versions introduce this incredible thing called the no-GIL branch. Basically, this removes the global interpreter lock, which used to act like a major bottleneck, stopping Python from doing multiple tasks simultaneously at top speed. This 2026 development finally unlocks true multi-threading speed, making Python significantly faster and way more powerful for the future of heavy AI and data workloads. It's a total game changer. Okay, part 6, our Python journey ahead. Here's our TechTale Academy roadmap. This is the syllabus for our series, and don't worry, we are guiding you step by step through the whole shebang. Step 1 was today, answering what is Python. Step 2 is going to be installation and environment setup. Step 3 dives deeper into basic syntax and variables. Step 4 will introduce loops and logic, which is basically teaching your computer how to make its own decisions. And finally, in Step 5, you're going to combine everything you've learned to build your very first final project, an actual real-world script that you can run right there on your own machine. And that brings us right to our immediate next step. Our next explainer is all about installing Python and preparing your coding environment. We are really going to get our hands dirty next time. I'll walk you through exactly how to download the software, install it on your computer, and get your own digital workspace totally dialed in. You'll be fully prepared to write and run your own code. Wow, okay, we've covered a lot of ground today. You've seen real code, you understand Python's massive role in AI, data, and web development, and you know exactly why it is the #1 most used language in the entire world. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. You know what Python is, and you know why it matters. Are you ready to write the code that could actually shape the future? I really can't wait to see you in the next part where we get your computer all set up. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy learning!